Hi, and welcome to Ask Wardee. I'm Wardee, a wife and mom of 3 and the lead teacher and founder of TraditionalCookingSchool.com. I'm also the author of The Complete Idiot's Guide to Fermenting Foods. Ask Wardee is the weekly show devoted to your niggling questions about traditional cooking. Maybe it's your sourdough starter, your sauerkraut, superfoods, broth, or anything else to do with traditional cooking. That's what we talk about. You can catch Ask Wardee live each Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, that's 1 p.m. Eastern, or through the podcast or video replays at askwardee.tv. And now let's get to today's show. Welcome to today's Ask Wardee. I'm so happy you're all here with me. We've got a great question today, and it comes all the way from Ecuador. It comes from Lucilla D. She says, I'm writing to ask you about the safety of using olive pomace oil for frying. Here in Ecuador, coconut oil is too expensive and I'm looking for a healthier option. The olive pomace oil here is a little cheaper. Thank you very much for your help. Well, that is a great question, Lucilla. So basically, you want to know about pomace olive oil and whether you can use it for frying, but I want to back up a little bit and I want to talk and just do some basic, so we're all on the same page here. What is pomace olive oil so we can all understand what it is? And does it have a place in a healthy kitchen? Where could you use it? Where shouldn't you use it? And then finally, we'll tackle the issue of frying. Okay? Now, I do have some experience with pomace oil, and that'll be sure to come up in my answers to you. Let's start with the first thing, which is what is pomace olive oil? Is anybody here, just in the comments, you can put a thumbs up if you've ever used or been exposed to pomace olive oil. So just put a thumbs up if you're familiar with it. Give you guys just a moment to do that. I know there's a little bit of a delay, but maybe nobody's used it before. We'll see. Huh. Okay, so we're getting a no from Vicky. All right, well this will be, and we're getting, I'm not sure I have, no clue, says Melissa. All right, no, says, can't read the name, Skeets. Okay, so a whole bunch of no's. So you guys, you're gonna learn a lot about pomace olive oil today. Here we go, Murphy BT, I've used it for soap making. Ding, 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 ding. Me too. That was the first time I heard about pomace olive oil. In fact, I was shopping at Glory Bee in Eugene for soap making supplies, and there was some pomace olive oil there, and I picked up a gallon of it. And I asked them lots of questions, and kind of what I'm going to tell you today is what they told me. So let's start with what is pomace olive oil. Pomace olive oil is olive oil, this, by the way, this is from Wikipedia, is olive oil that is extracted from olive pulp after the first press. Once the mechanical oil extraction of olive oil is complete, approximately 5 to 8% of the oil remains in the pulp, which then needs to be extracted with the help of solvents, an industrial technique used in the production of most other edible oils, including canola, peanut, sunflower, etc. And again, that was from Wikipedia. So that's a very good explanation there. And there's a couple things I want to pull out and make sure you catch. So the olives are pressed, and that's where you get the extra virgin and the virgin, all the higher grades of olive oil. But there's 5 to 8% of oil still left in the pulp, and the mechanical extraction can't get it anymore. So there's 5 to 8% left. So then they use a solvent or chemicals and or heat, really, to get the rest out. So to get 5 to 8% more oil out of the pulp. And it's really the same way that most industrial veggie oils are produced. So your canola oil, corn oil, those are all solvent, heat, chemical extractions. And that is how pomace olive oil is extracted as well. Now, according to my research, extraction may also involve heat. I just mentioned that. So number one is, just summarizing kind of the points about pomace olive oil. It's not cold pressed, so it's heat and or solvent chemical extracted. And you also should know that there's several grades of pomace olive oil. So initially you get a crude pomace olive oil, and then they may do some filtering so you get a fairly pure pomace olive oil. And I think the pure is what you'd find in soap making supplies and people use in their kitchens as well. So, and finally, this has to do with, olive oil is kind of there's olive oil councils, and there's, these associations that kind of set standards for olive oil. And we know in recent years there's been controversy over the quality of olive oil. But according to certain associations, and maybe the main one in the world, Pomace olive oil cannot be simply called olive oil because it's not pure, because it would have the solvents and the chemicals in it. So according to them, you can't say it's olive oil because it's not pure olive oil. It may have other things in there. So that's why you'll see it sold as Pomace olive oil. And what that really tells you is there's been some non-pressing going on. There's been heat, chemical, solvents involved. So you guys all on the same page? And you can let me know, maybe give a, let's take a poll here. So put a thumbs up if after what I've said you would be comfortable using Pomace olive oil for cooking. Put a thumbs down if you would not be comfortable using Pomace olive oil for cooking at this point, just on what I've said. And we'll keep it to cooking. Forget about soap making. So let's do a quick poll in the comments. What do you think? Very curious here. Thumbs down. We got a wink, wink. Anybody else want to chime in? You guys be brave. We got a thumbs down from Alice too. Melissa's saying no thanks. Another thumbs down. William and Mary thumbs down. 3 more thumbs down. All right. So we've got a bunch of thumbs down. So Lucilla, if you're watching now or you're probably watching later, that may give you an indication of where I'm headed with this, but I do have some good suggestions for you. So quick question. What should and shouldn't Pomace olive oil be used for? Well, as you can already tell from how I explained the process of making Pomace olive oil, that I'm not going to recommend Pomace olive oil for consumption, for eating internally for our human consumption, let alone frying. This is because the heat may have denatured the oil so that it's not healthy, and olive oil is more susceptible than other oils to rancidity, much more so than coconut oil. And coconut oil tends to be shelf stable for months, if not years. So the 2 strikes it has really is the use of solvents and the heat that I think make Pomace olive oil not a good option for human consumption. So you have extra things in the oil that may not be healthy for you, plus you also have the solvents and the heat that can denature the oil. Okay, now regarding soap, because this has already come up already, I have now and then used Pomace olive oil for making soap. I feel it's an inexpensive choice and it does make a good Castile soap. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to say 100% is awesome, because our skin is an organ too, and if you have any kind of healing issue, you may not want to have those extra ingredients that are in Pomace olive oil on your skin, because you will absorb them through your skin. So everybody has to make that choice. And I can say I haven't used Pomace olive oil for years, probably like 5 years now for making soap. I just turned to other oils instead. But I'm not going to say you shouldn't. It's probably a good choice if you don't have any huge health issues. So, you guys agree? No on human consumption. We shouldn't be eating Pomace olive oil, and maybe depending on your healing situation for using it for soap. So let me know a thumbs up in the comments if you agree. And I think I already see you are. And just waiting for some comments to come in. Yep, says Vicky. Good. Vicky agrees. Okay. Moms with Alice says okay. All right, but I don't want to leave you, Lucilla, without anything, and we're getting some more thumbs up coming. So what about frying? Because you asked about frying in particular. In general, I don't recommend olive oil, even good olive oil, for frying at all. It doesn't really have as high a smoke point as other fats for frying, so it can denature and oxidize more quickly than other oils would at the high heat. Now, this doesn't mean you can't saute or oven roast with olive oil occasionally. I think you can keep doing that. Just keep in mind that extra virgin olive oil, now that's the first pressing, has the highest smoke point of the forms of olive oil there are, and that's at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And so the extra virgin is going to perform the best for you frying, but the downside is it's the most expensive. So whether or not you want to do that's a question. Mostly myself, I would reserve olive oil for fresh uses, and preferably extra virgin. So salad dressings, drizzling on hummus, as a condiment. So wherever you can use olive oil fresh, that's where you would use it. I said I don't want to leave you hanging, so what would your other options be? Because you said, excuse me, you said that coconut oil is a bit expensive in Ecuador and that pomace would be an inexpensive option for you. Well, if you can't use pomace and coconut oil is too expensive, I want to give you some suggestions. So, pastured animal fats. Normally, every region in the world has some pastured animal fat that would be abundant and cheap. I don't know what that is for you in your area. Is it pigs? Is it cattle? Is it goat? I mean, it's some kind of wild game. But I would ask around and try to get some pastured animal fat that you can render into, you know, tallow, lard, schmaltz, whatever it is called for that particular animal. And that is going to be your best bet for frying, because pastured animal fats have high smoke points. They are wonderful for frying, and frying could be oven roasting, sauteing, deep frying, you know, all the various ways that you would heat oil to facilitate cooking. So I would research a pastured animal fat that's in your area, that's abundant and inexpensive, that you can render yourself into a fat, a pure fat. You might also look for expeller pressed or cold pressed veggie oils that have a high smoke point that might be inexpensive in your area. I don't really know, but two options for you would be grapeseed or avocado. And grapeseed's smoke point is 485 degrees Fahrenheit. Remember I said extra virgin olive oil was 400, so grapeseed is way higher. And then avocado is 480 degrees Fahrenheit. So it again has a very high smoke point. And a high smoke point means it can go higher without denaturing, without smoking and burning. And I don't know what those cost in your area. Here, grapeseed is okay. Avocado oil is expensive, so I would use avocado sparingly myself in my kitchen. So you're gonna have to look through and just decide what you can do in your area. So let's take a quick poll in the comments here. If you do any kind of frying, high heat cooking with oils or fats, so in the comments, just chime in, what is your least expensive option in your area? You know, the one that you find economical for your budget and where you live. And you could, you know, be specific to state, or you could just give a region like Pacific Northwest. So we're getting a coconut oil, we're getting a lard. Helen is saying lard. Okay, anybody else? What do you find most economical for these high heat uses of oil? We're getting a coconut oil. Vicki says coconut, yeah, okay. Coconut oil from Azure in North Carolina. Great, thank you for chiming in so specifically on that. We're getting a lard. Okay, so coconut and lard are fairly common, it looks like, here in the US. Melissa's tossing in a palm shortening and avocado oil, okay. I make my own lard and tallow. Yes, I mean, if you purchase it, like you can go to US Wellness Meats and you can get lard or tallow. But if you render it yourself, it's way cheaper. Moms with Alice, coconut oil at Costco, coconut in Oregon, coconut oil or lard, says Carrie in Michigan, canola in Houston, says coconut oil. Thanks for chiming in with that, everybody. I want to just end by saying that if you can do the animal route for your fats, it's really the healthiest overall. And I would definitely stay away from non-expeller or cold pressed veggie oils. Okay, so if you're using avocado, grapeseed, or other veggie oils, make sure to look for cold pressed or expeller pressed, and preferably organic. All right, so I'm going to wrap up by making sure you all know about my free traditional cooking video series. Inside Traditional Cooking School, we have 2 classes on the fundamentals of traditional cooking, Fundamentals 1 and 2, and actually in Fundamentals 2, we go in depth on fats, including this frying issue. But what I want to offer you now is 5 free videos from our first class, Fundamentals, and you can grab those completely for free. It's a free gift from me at tradcookschool.com/freevids, FREEVIDS. It's one word. Thank you all for being here. God bless you, and I will see you all again in a week. Thanks so much for coming today. It's been fun. Here's what to do next. Ask Wardee wouldn't be possible without your questions, so please keep them coming. If you're on Twitter, you can tweet me. Use the handle @TradCookSchool with your question and include the hashtag AskWardee. Or you can email me, wardee@askwardee.tv. To get the show notes, links I mentioned, or even to catch up on past episodes, just go to askwardee.tv. To join the fun of the live video recording of Ask Wardee each week, be sure to follow me at Trad Cook School on the Periscope app or go to periscope.tv/tradcookschool. We're live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, that's 1 p.m. Eastern. And finally, you can subscribe to Ask Wardee as a podcast using iTunes, the podcast app, or Stitcher. If you're on a mobile device, just search for Ask Wardee right in the app. If you're on a desktop or laptop, just go to tradcookschool.com/awitunes for Ask Wardee iTunes. And while you're there, please leave a rating or review. I love to read your comments, and your feedback helps others who are interested in traditional cooking find my podcast too. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next week.